All right, so both are doing step routes. I think one is doing 80%, one is doing Paladin percent basic. So you have slight variety there.
Yeah, we do, and it's definitely going to have a bit of an interesting impact for the beginning of the run. Less so later for reasons we'll explain as they appear.
All right, very well. Maybe I'll step out here. You two know best in this case, so I will let this go to the actual commentary.
Thank you very much.
All right, folks, have fun. Enjoy the race.
Will do. And we have an official 10-second countdown for our racers. And they are off. Let's see how they're doing here. So one of the things you are going to notice right off the bat once we get started here is that they this game starts with a 7 to 8 minute intro with not a huge amount for our runners to do at that point. But
correct.
It doesn't...
You have to reset after you don't get Raven skip. But other than that,
yeah, absolutely. Raven skip, most important tech of this run, guys, and it's right at the beginning.
Totally random. You can lose up to 4 seconds if you get hit by either the Fluid Eye or the Raven. Or I mean, if you get hit by both of them. If you get hit by one of them, you lose like 2 seconds. But this is a meme community, so always talk up the Raven skip.
Yeah, if you don't get the Raven skip, your run is invalid, even though it's completely random. There's lots of talk about pressing certain buttons at the right time will allow you to actually get the skip, but I have no actual mechanics on that, so till I see proof, folks.
Yeah, it's frame it's based on your frame. So like if you match perfectly, you'll get it every time. But of course, everybody matches perfectly in every game, right? So.
Oh, absolutely. Our community, top of the top, guys. Even though this beginning is just the intro, it doesn't mean, again, that other than this intro stuff, it isn't technical. There's definitely things they need to be doing. One of the really important things actually is just skipping the text. If you're just kind of haphazardly pressing the button, over the course of the couple of hours, you can definitely pick up quite a bit of time. Well, look at Couch there. He's using pause strats.
Yeah, we should talk about pause strats. So basically, the big stumbling block of this run right now as constructed is that there is a glitch, and at one point it's going to launch your in-game timer to be at a certain second. By pausing at certain times in the run, when you're in a battle, you can stop the in-game timer, because that doesn't count as advancing the in-game timer. So by pausing, it's just trying to manipulate over the course of the run maybe like 40 seconds to a minute and a half in your favor, so that you can avoid all the very bad rooms, which of course we will not be seeing today because I don't jinx anybody.
Nope, it'll be a beautiful glitch room, which is going to be magical anyways, and we definitely don't want to see any of that bad magic happening. And again, it's you need to know exactly when are your safe times to pause, because you don't want to actually stop anything else that's happening other than the game timer, because that will bring your overall time. That'll make that higher.
Yeah, you want to avoid going slow in a speed run, from what I understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I can briefly talk about these guys real quick. Couch 23, kind of a newcomer to the scene, has been, steadily pounding away on FF4 for about 4 months. Became a little bit of a meme because he could not sub 2 in this category, and finally did it a couple weeks ago. So congrats to him. Raptor has been kind of more of a stalwart guy. He's been here for a couple years. He's been improving his time a lot lately. So both of these runners can give us some pretty good runs here.
Absolutely. So we'll definitely see some good times here from everyone.
You see both these runners picking up a tent from the chest in this little side room that's hidden away for whatever reason. This tent is going to be used to perform one of the first major glitches of this game, which is to skip over the town of Mist. And we do this by taking a little half step, popping into the menu using the tent, and that kind of freezes the game into thinking that we're on that step. And by doing this, we kind of save, reset, and get over Mist, and get access to some of the equipment that's going to make this run easier. A lot of the damage dealing for the first hour of the run.
Absolutely. So now we're just taking some time to meet a bunch of our characters who you may or may not see much of later in the runs.
Right, so of course Cecil goes to bed in full armor because that's just kind of how you play the game in Baron. There's like 2 beds in the entire town and castle, and everybody wears armor to bed because that's how they do things, and we shouldn't question their customs.
Absolutely. You always have to be prepared for any sort of battle which could possibly come up.
And of course, story-wise, Cecil is our main character. His name is not Cecil, it's Cecil, actually. And Cecil is kind of booted off the Red Wings and told to get a real job as a package delivery man.
Oh, I think it could be his true life's calling.
Told to head over to Mist with that, and Kane speaks up kind of in his behalf and is sent with him. So both of these guys are off to deliver this package to the town of Mist, which I'm sure will not end poorly at all for anybody.
No, never. Being sent on a mission with a mysterious package when the king is already mad at you, definitely not suspicious whatsoever.
Yeah,
Especially
when the king says, crystal, real crystal, I mean, that doesn't sound ominous or creepy at all.
Not at all. And when you're sending 2 of your strongest, soldiers off on a, silly mission like that just for anger, yeah, definitely something a bit weird about that. So if you guys are interested in the story whatsoever, here's your time. This is one of 2 moments in this run where you will get a chance to read some beautiful text. Enjoy it. Unless you can read really, really fast, which some people certainly can do. But otherwise, enjoy the wonderful text and the beautiful music. Yeah, he's making sure it's real. It's got his crystal has the copy protection on it. Yeah, this part really does exist to play the Final Fantasy theme, and it does it beautifully. Don't worry, Mirinda, you will still not know why the monsters keep increasing by the end of this run. But you can keep speculating. It is one of the things we do in our community, is we speculate, why is it that the monsters keep increasing over and over and over again? And we've gotten some amazing theories. One of them is that because us speedrunners continue to play the game. So since we've done that, of course the monsters are going to keep increasing. We're running away from all of them.
So you'll see both runners in here in this little Chocobo forest go and pick up the carrot item, which has no practical meaning in this speedrun at all, and will not be used for a glitch.
Nope, definitely not.
Certainly not.
It's definitely there just to look pretty in your inventory.
Both runners, before the game started, got a certain seed that we call C92. The reason they did this was because they get no encounters at all through the Cape of Mist and into the next town. So we should get some pretty clean times coming out of here right now.
Absolutely. And as you can imagine, that saves between 30 to 60 seconds, depending on what encounter seed you might have ended up on if they hadn't purposely manipulated this particular seed. So you'll also see them moving basically the same way, because of course they are step routing. And it looks like Couch is the first to make it to Mist Dragon, but they are only a few seconds apart each. And there are two kind of main things that they are trying to do with this tutorial fight. The first is if they can each get 7 hits on the Mist Dragon before it changes into its secondary mist form, then they will be able to time Kane's jump on either a sound cue or an actual time cue, which I believe is 8.5 seconds. And they can send him up in his jump before the game tells you it's safe to do so, but they'll know that it's safe by following that sound cue. The second thing that they will be doing is they will be doing the first part of an item duplication glitch, and in this case, both runners will likely be duplicating Kane's shield. So, we'll see if they do that. The purpose of that particular manipulation, looks like Couch did the Shadow Shield, is to get money. Which you're going to see now shortly after the mist clip. It gets them quite a bit of money, and like the time is relevant for a room right at the end of the game, how much money you have is also relevant for a different room. So they're going to be doing some very careful money manipulation and calculations here while they go.
Yeah, it's clearly a well-designed game. You can tell by the way the glitch that we might perform later breaks it.
It's magical. If you guys haven't seen this particular run before, you are in for a treat. You'll just be watching going, what is even happening? And it's magical. It's the only word you can say. So Couch is the first one to start doing his mist clip. And what that is you saw both him and Velociraptor kind of do a turn on the spot. They did a partial step, which they interrupted with a menu, and then using a tent. And by using a tent in that in this part of the map, after doing that partial step, it moves Cecil's position on the map over by 1, so allowing him to step on the first tile of mist without actually going into the town. And by buffering another one of these partial steps and saving and then resetting the game, it fixes the map and allows them to step right across mist, which is the skip part, and they can enter in through the right side. And there is actually a trigger on the left side of Mist, which prevents you from accessing any of this material until you get the airship much later in the game. So what they're going to do now that they have access here is they have sold they finished their item duplication just before coming in, giving them 65,000 shields, invisible shields I should say, which they then sell to bankrupt Poor Mist for 6.5 million GP. They go to the weapon shop and they picked up the dancing daggers, which you'll definitely see some good use of in following battles. And then finally, they go into Rydia's house and pick up a couple of chests, primarily the tiara and the change rod, both of which are really quite important for this run. So we'll explain the use of all of those items as they become relevant. But now that they're finished that, it's time to continue with the plot and to trigger the cutscene where we find out what that mysterious package is, and shock and awe, it was a bomb.
No, really?
Yeah, I know!
Wow, I've never seen this run before. This is crazy.
I've never seen this sort of plot before. It's madness. But poor King Baron, he's not liking the competition or something, but he decided that all of the summoners had to be destroyed. And so sent our poor soldiers to kind of finish them, but Cecil's like, no, I really kind of don't want to do this anymore. This is not working out so well. I'd like to try being a good person for once. And so they try and save this poor little girl whose mom you unfortunately did kill by killing her summoned dragon. And she's like, no, you killed my mom and burned my town. I'm obviously not going with you. She doesn't fight back too well, though.
No, she does not. And you see that when these runners get into this Titan fight, which is unwinnable, they'll both be looking in their inventories and trying to manage things for later in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're going to see a lot of that through this run because inventory management is important for any sort of these runs, but there is some very specific item management that they are going to have to be doing and keeping track of through this run, again, to help manipulate things at the end. So Some of it they're going to move just to make things easier for the beginning and for equipping and such. But yeah, you're going to see some fun item maintenance in an hour or so, hour and a half.
Right, and so both runners are going to take this girl who has been injured clearly and go to a hotel in Kypo, trying to rest her up or whatever. And suddenly they're accosted by guards. I know, it's shocking that Baron would be so rude about this, but it kind of introduces a fun mechanic that I like to call run buffering. So Natara, do you want to talk about that for a minute?
Absolutely. So run buffering, it's less necessary here other than the obvious enjoyable time save, but it's going to be a really critical thing to do later on in about 25-30 minutes. So what it is when you attempt to run in a battle which is unrunnable, you get a message that appears which tells you that you can't run from this battle. And while that message is up, the ATB gauge for all of these, anyone who's participating in the battle, pauses. Now, if you can input commands fast enough while this message is up, you kind of push commands and attacks to the head of the queue and kind of sneak them in. And there is still a bit of RNG involved for the stats, say, of the whoever you're fighting. But if you can do those well, you can save yourself a lot of time and get attacks in before the people you are fighting. So it definitely saves a lot of time, and in later parts of the game, saves some pretty critical damage from happening. So yeah, really important strategy. But now, of course, after they did all these terrible things to affect this girl, they save her once from soldiers, and she's sold. She absolutely trusts Cecil. She is on board. She's going to help him out and stick with him.
Right, and you'll see both runners kind of duck into the menu here. They'll do a little formation change to put Midia in the back row, which is important because she has 30 HP, and we're not going to level her up at all for the boss fight. And you also see them put a tiara on her. Now, tiara is kind of like a mid to late game armor that we only got because we clipped through Mist, but it's very important for this run because even with it on, the next boss can do up to 18 damage on Midia, which is not fun. And if you don't have it on at all, she just instantly gets one shot pretty much anytime he attacks.
Yeah, that is for sure. And there's we'll use it later for other things as well than defense, but yeah, right now its critical purpose is to defend. So, and both runners made sure to stop in and find Rosa in the house. If you do forget to go and talk to her, you have a bad time once you do get in here to the underground waterway, because then Tella there will turn you away. And so you, in your rush, you definitely do not want to forget to talk to him.
So it looks like Couch is on seed 159.
Yeah. I unfortunately did lose track on Raptor's seed.
Oh, that's unfortunate. But yeah, no big deal. So once you reset the game at Mist, you can grab one of 256 starting encounter seeds. And by knowing our encounter seed, this allows us to take steps in certain places where encounters don't occur and kind of move the encounter rate forward. So as long as you know your initial seed, you're able to kind of manipulate so there are not as many encounters going forward. And that's a big part of this run in particular, and especially in the longer version of this game, No 64, where you can save up to 2 or 3 minutes if you just step out properly.
For sure, and you can definitely, it helps manipulate it so some of the encounters are definitely better, like the particular encounter formation is nicer in some cases, or to make sure you get less encounters in areas where the encounter rate has increased.
Right, and so to kind of put like a actual number on it, like Couch's seed here, 159, has him take a lot of extra steps, but it would also save him 12 encounters and 80 seconds for the entire run. So that's That's not chump change, and it's especially important when you're going for kind of PB world record pace.
Looks like it was 45, 46 extra steps there for Velociraptor. So whatever seed he's on has quite a few extra steps there.
Yeah, we won't be doing a full game route because both of these runners are going to try to get a guaranteed yellow Chocobo later, and we'll talk about that when we get to it. But we're going to at least be routing through the end of Milon Z.
Oh, more steps before in there as well. So he's got quite a lot of extra steps there, Velociraptor. So you saw him, usually you take the extra steps in spots where there are no encounters, but occasionally you take them even in spots where there are encounters, just because it means you get less encounters in a spot where the encounter rate is higher.
Yeah, you're gonna see both of these runners pick up the Darkness Sword here in a chest coming up. This is kind of a diversion from the main path, but it's factored into our step routes, and also the Darkness Sword is kind of the weak elemental to a couple of enemies along the way, especially the next boss. Cecil doing more damage is very important for the next boss for the time, so this is like even in routes of this game that only go through Octoman, basically, like you would still pick up the sword. It's that important.
Absolutely, and especially where it is also the last sword upgrade for Cecil until like 25-30 minutes after Fabul, so you definitely want that little bit of extra damage there as well.
Yeah, here you see on what was that, I think Couch pulling one of the first back attacks in this run.
Yeah, hopefully that will be one of the few.
So back attacks in this game are kind of based on battle seed, kind of randomness. You can, if you're incredibly good and incredibly skilled, like try to walk frame perfectly and manipulate them, but it's incredibly difficult, and you wouldn't expect them to do either of these runners for sure. And this is one of the things that really can throw a run one way or the other. If you get bad back attacks, you get good back attacks. If you get low back attacks, if you get high back attacks, like just the sheer amount or the sheer terror of facing like 6 enemies at once that all can really just swing your time drastically in this game.
Absolutely. Now, both runners have reached the next boss, Octoman, and you saw there what just makes Octoman terrifying and Midia so squishy. Just a couple of hits, and she is dead, even with that tiara equipped. Thankfully, we do have Tella, who has the ability to cast life. Unfortunately, between Tella's stats and the stats of some of these cure spells, he has a chance to actually miss using life. Thankfully, that was not the case here. He succeeded and managed to bring Midia back, but if you're having a particularly bad run with Tella, he can just miss time and time again with spells like life, or just those critical spells you need for the tricks you're trying to do, and yeah, it's not great at all, but thankfully, so far, he seems to be agreeing. So the main strategy for this fight is Octoman at the beginning of this fight is the fastest boss in the game. But as he loses tentacles, he starts slowing down. And those tentacles disappear by number of attacks. So first one gets destroyed after 3 attacks, and then it's 2 attacks for each remaining one. And you still, of course, need to be doing a certain amount of damage to kill Octoman, but you equip the Darkness Sword on Cecil, and then you equip Midia with our Dancing Daggers. And I'm sure you're seeing the sort of damage she's doing. When tossed as an item, especially at this point in the game, they do pretty ridiculous amounts of damage, making Midia currently our main damage dealer, especially for this fight. So often the strategy is to have Cecil attacking, Midia throwing Dancing Daggers, and Tella will use Lightning 1 for the first 2 or 3 turns, and then runners will often stop him. Him stop himself because he's just too slow to help at any point. But and right now you're seeing for safety, Couch is instead just having Tella parry. So because he's just not doing enough damage or enough hits to help at all. But
yeah, his stop cycle already wore off.
Yeah,
looks like.
exactly. So he's just not worth it.
So in theory, Tella should only miss stop or life about 10% of the time, but if you run this game often, you know that the number feels a lot bigger. And so we've taken to calling that Tella life. It's a Tella life moment where he just trolls you and there's nothing you can really do about it.
Yeah, absolutely. It is you get to know Telelife intimately as you play this game because it will happen to you. And
so
of
Natar,
course,
do you know of any kind of bards? Do you know any adjectives that you would use for a bard?
I know a few. I've heard rumors of a wicked bard.
A wicked bard?
A
Okay.
wicked bard. Do you know about any others?
I think I've heard of a crybaby bard before.
Oh yeah, there's definitely one of those. How about a spoony bard?
Oh, I like spoony bards. Yeah.
Oh, we'll keep that one. And see, Couch actually did get lucky and only had to take like 1 or 2 extra steps there in Damsian.
Yeah, his step route pretty much calls for easy stuff all the way through the part of the run he'll reset. So he should have a pretty nice encounter walks as far as those go.
Good, he's definitely doing better. I may not know what seed Velociraptor's on right now, but I'm keeping track of the steps he's taking, and basically every point where he could possibly have extra steps to take, he is taking them. So obviously it's worth it to the point he is dodging worse encounters, but he definitely has a lot of extra steps on whatever seed he's on.
Yeah, we'll see if he really got hosed if he has to go into the Antlion Charm Room twice.
Oh, yeah, that will be bad.
Although in theory, when you get steps, you should be celebrating. It's one of those things that's really counterintuitive to do when you're actually in a speed run. So I feel like in general, most runners would prefer the routes to just have fewer steps. But sometimes you just kind of get dealt a crummy hand when you do that soft reset, and looks like Raptor definitely taking a lot of steps right now.
Yeah, he is. So but again, those could really work out in his favor. Depending on help with his encounters as he goes on. But right now we're just getting lots of exposition and extra plot. Baron are the bad guys. They just stole the crystal in Damsian. Tella's daughter just got killed. Tella is completely and absolutely enraged. And
correct. But we should note, it's also because he just hates bards.
Yeah, I'm actually learning he hates a bit of everything, but yes, he does hate bards kind of the most. And he has a new quest now. He has found out that the new commander of the Red Wings is Golbez, and that's who caused his daughter to die, so he's a man on a mission. So he's an older fella, but he was still able to manage to get enough strength to push, assumedly young, fit, in heavy armor, Cecil just completely out of the way. If there's something that Tella does really well, it's anger.
And if there's something that this scene does well, it's domestic violence. For sure.
Yes, that is absolutely correct. Okay, I may have found Velociraptor's seed. I'm gonna track it here now.
Okay, so both of these runners are heading through the Antlion Cave now. The Antlion Cave is not really a place where you tend to lose a lot of time in runs. It's more just encounter heavy. You pick up a safety life along the way, just in case something bad happens. But generally speaking, go through it with no trouble. And the boss that's really terrible and casual is Antlion. Just because of the equipment that we have in this run, the Dancing Dagger, he's pretty much free. You just throw it at him 3 or 4 times and he is done.
So it does look like Velociraptor's actually on seed 61, and if so, it is front-loaded with steps, so he actually only has 12 extra steps left to do. 10 of them are in Fabul, and 2 of them will be on the world map in Midia. So here we have Antlion, which is supposedly supposed to be tame, but as you can see is really not. And in casual play, this is a bit of a difficult fight, because Antlion loves the counterattack on any sort of physical attack. But thankfully for us, dancing daggers when used as an item actually count as a magic attack. So And Edward can now also use the dancing dagger. So Cecil just sits and he defends and does any sort of item maintenance which might be required at this point. And after 3 or 4 dancing daggers, Antlion is taken care of. So now that we have dancing daggers after this misclip, Antlion is basically the easiest boss of the run.
Yeah, if you play this game casually, you know that Edward's kind of a weak and worthless character, and you're kind of better off most of the time if he's just dead or hiding anyway. But in this run in particular, with the dancing dagger, he becomes one of the most powerful characters in the first 40 minutes of this run. So he's going to be doing a lot of the damage for not only here but also in the next couple of boss fights.
Yeah, him being alive at the end of boss fights is particularly important. And one thing I do want to mention is the safety life. So there is a chest which both of the runners have to pass, both on the way into the Antlion Cave and on the way out. And it contains a life, and while you don't have to necessarily pick this up, it only takes a few extra seconds, and the more you play this game, the more you know just what sort of awful things FF4 loves to do to its runners. So you kind of just learn that safety life is worth the couple of seconds loss it takes to pick it up, because it can really save your run.
Yeah, it's not even a couple seconds; it's a couple of frames. Like it's not even a second. So it's really convenient to pick up, and especially in any kind of marathon or kind of situation where you want to play it safe, it's definitely an easy call to pick it up.
Yeah, it definitely is. So Velociraptor has pulled ahead, and he currently has is heading back to use the Sand Rupee that he fought for and won. One of the more kind of minor and trivial things about this particular part is the menu that comes up when you're going to give Rosa the Sand Ruby, depending on what your inventory was like when you defeated Antlion, will put the Sand Ruby in just whatever empty spot was closest. So it does mean there is a possibility you can use an item that is not the Sand Ruby in this menu. And you don't use up that item, but it does waste time because you have to wait for the text box saying nothing happened to pop up, and we don't want to waste time. We don't have time for that. We have too many frames to skip and whatnot. So you kind of just have to be cognizant of where that ruby is in your inventory, so you know what direction to press, or whether you can just mash A like Couch was able to do.
Yeah, both of these runners have been kind of baptized in this game for a while and well trained on the idea that the order of their inventory matters a lot, and especially for the glitch later, but even right now, you can save a lot of seconds just by kind of setting things up in the right order.
Yeah, absolutely. If you don't have to think about where your items are because you just know because they're always in the same spot, it saves a lot of time.
So the story of this upcoming fight here with the Water Hag is that Edward, of course, is a big fan of Huey Lewis and the News. Water Hag, of course, takes umbrage to this as a kind of a hard rock, alt rock metal fan, and he's just like, play anything else, man, play anything else, fine, I'll fight you. And so this kind of happens.
I will make you play something else. But unfortunately for Edward, or fortunately maybe, this Water Hag actually has 45,672 HP because he's go big or go home, But thankfully for Edward, he only has to hit the Water Hag 3 times. And now that we have him in the middle position and have the Dancing Dagger, that's fairly trivial. He has the FF4 equivalent of 100% accuracy. So getting those 3 hits is easy. But before we had the Dancing Daggers, Edward would not be in the middle position because why would he? And he would have one of his harps. And so he definitely had, it was still a fairly low % chance to miss, but again, in true FF4 style, there were times where you could sit and just miss until the Water Hag killed Edward. So rather than being a push A to win fight, it could be a sadness and tears fight.
Yeah, and the accuracy was improved from the JP version. If you ever want to have an entertaining 6 minutes of your life go by, check out Catastrophic 4's fight against the Water Hag in a PS1 remake that uses the JP stats, and you will see him miss with the harp probably 20 or 30 times.
I'd believe that. Now, I do want to just point out, because Velociraptor's done it and Couch hasn't, where he left his hovercraft is very important. That is one of the pieces of data that the end of game glitch is going to look for. So both runners are going to make sure to put their hovercraft in that exact spot next to Mount Hobbs.
Yeah, the glitch at the end of the game that we'll be doing, it involves a lot of random stuff that you would never think to do in an actual run. But that is the first piece to the puzzle right there.
Absolutely. And for the step routing, you saw both of these runners step left or step right out of Kypo rather than just walking straight forward while they were inside. And that's because depending on which side you choose to leave will determine which side you will appear on the world map. And of course, you don't want to take any extra steps if you're step routing, so they make sure to leave the correct side.
So this is where Rosa becomes, what did you say it was, the worst counselor ever?
Yeah, no, I think my words were the best trauma counselor ever, because we have this poor traumatized little girl who just is terrified of fire, and just a couple of sentences from Rosa and Rydia's like, oh my god, I can learn fire. Fire's fun! And we have our new pyro. Instead, Imp Captains. Let's see.
Nice, it works. Cool.
Yeah.
So I guess
they had enough HP to survive. So you want to make sure they live, because these 6 bombs which are now left, the gray bombs each have 100 HP, so the only 2 characters who can actually one-shot those bombs are Rydia and Edward attacking with the dancing daggers. So this is one of those places where the safety life can come in real handy if one of those 2 dies. It is very important to have Edward alive at the end of this battle, because you want the HP it will give him from the level up he will get to help him in the Fabul gauntlet, which is next. So really good fight from Velociraptor. Let's just see. Oh, look, got some really great damage rolls there for Couch on his explode.
Yeah, outside of Raptor having to waste another attack on that last bomb because of Yang's poor damage roll, that was really nice. And both of these runners are on pretty good pace right now.
Yeah, they are. And one of the things you saw them do is, as soon as the first message for the second form of Mom Bomb said explode, they waited a couple of seconds and then set Yang to kick. And that had him kick shortly after the 6 bombs appeared. And what they were looking for there is the orange bomb who took the most damage, so they could set Rosa to aim at that orange bomb and to take it out, because you definitely want to kill them as fast as possible, because as soon as you've done any damage to them, a timer starts before they start exploding. But no, both of these runners are seasoned, experienced runners and no problems, other than of course slight delays. But that's, in terms of the whole run and for what Mom Bomb can do, really good.
Yeah, this is after this they undertake one of the more dangerous walks of the game, because there's a very heavy encounter zone as far as the actual raid itself, and then also there are a lot of packs of enemies that are 4 and 6. So one of the best things that you can do for kind of getting a good run is getting a seed here that has a a low amount of encounters on this walk.
Which
And,
Velociraptor did. He had only 2. And what you're seeing him do there is a really smart thing, which is doing a safety save outside of Fabul, because it does not matter how good a runner and how experienced a runner you are. Sometimes Fabul just says no. And so if you have that safety save right outside, you may have lost a couple of seconds if your Fabul gauntlet goes fine, but you will only lose 5 minutes versus 20 or 30 if you if something goes wrong during this gauntlet.
Yeah, Couch only had 4, and I think he came through pretty unscathed here. So things looking good for both runners.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, he's doing the same. Now, if you were doing a more casual run, there's plenty of runners who don't do a save outside of Fabul, but in a marathon setting, Fabul is one of those kind of key save points. Now, the Fabul Gauntlet is interesting because you only have 3 characters for this, and what makes it really scary is that even though the boss battle music is playing, these fights are actually coded as random encounters.
Couch refusing the king.
Yeah, there are multiple buttons you can press to advance the text, and some people like B is one of the common ones, but if you have a menu come up where such as this where you have to make a choice and you're mashing with B, you waste some time by saying no. So
I see, I can't force you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, as far as mistakes go, that one's fairly minor, but it's one of those for shame moments.
It's definitely hilarious, so you're encouraged to laugh at Couch for it.
Oh, definitely, we are. But yeah, on the technical side again, so these are random encounters rather than actual boss battles. So if Edward goes down into a critical HP state, unlike in boss battles where he will just stay and be sad about it, he will actually automatically hide. And for obvious reasons, and those being you have 3 characters and he's your main damage dealer, that is not ideal whatsoever. You also don't have any or many curative items at this point. You may have a safety life if you haven't used it yet. So you're also going to see them doing some item maintenance, as in most of the battles. And something you'll see them do in an upcoming fight, it's probably going to be the gargoyle, they will do it. Look for it, it hasn't happened yet. They're going to be doing another item duplication with Yang and his fire claws. So that can either be done, usually it's in the gargoyle fight, which is the 4th fight, or it can possibly be done in the last fight as well. So we'll see which these runners do.
Yeah, there are little minute advantages to when you do it. Basically just... if you take the fire call off Ying, you reduce his accuracy and make him more likely to miss when he attacks. But other than that, I think you'll see... I think Couch does it in the Gargoyle, and I think Raptor does it in the last fight.
Okay. And you see them, the run buffers, which we talked about earlier, they come into very key use in this particular battle. Oh no, he did it here. Yeah, Velociraptor just did it. So...
Prove me wrong, man. Prove me wrong.
Yup, it's what they do. These runners, how dare they?
Jerks.
And we'll see. We'll see if Couch just, mixes it up too and decides to do it in the last one. And I will absorb that we're on minute 42 for Velociraptor 42. I did unfortunately miss the 23-minute mark. We can catch it on the second time, on hour 1.
So yeah, both these runners, outside of Raptor getting a little bit sniped on Edward, pretty nice gauntlets altogether.
Absolutely, and considering he did get sniped at the beginning, which could have been dangerous, but it worked out really well and he didn't take any future hits. And one thing that Couch did differently with his item dupe that Velociraptor didn't do is he did the dupe while the claw was in one of Yang's hand, and once he did that first half of it, he then put the claw into Yang's other hand, which does not ruin the duplication at all, and allows Yang to still have that claw equipped.
Looks like we've got a damn it Kane.
Oh, so spoilers. This fight here with Kane, it isn't scripted, but you do have to lose. So in order to encourage that and to help skip some text, we have Cecil hit himself. But what you want and what you need is for between Kane's jump and Cecil's hit to do enough damage to put Cecil into critical. And the damn it Kane was indicating, as we've now seen on screen, that between the two of them, they did not do enough damage because Kane's damage roll was particularly low. So he did get a couple of extra text boxes, which if providing Couch doesn't get those same text boxes, will allow him to make up a little bit of time.
Yeah, it's about 15 seconds. So
Yeah.
that's a lot in this run actually, early on.
It definitely is. So our good buddy Kane, when doesn't he help us? Wait. Actually, at this run, he actually really helps us later. But at the beginning of the run, it's just like, why Kane?
In theory, in theory, he helps us.
Oh yeah, see Couch actually got the ideal situation where or one of the ideal situations where Kane just gets Cecil into critical HP immediately. You don't even need Cecil to hit himself, and it's beautiful. So he just got the final jump, and he saved that bit of extra time. So
yeah, it's possible. It's very possible to very possible. It's possible to actually have Kane knock Cecil down to like high 60s and then kill yourself with Cecil. That's the most ideal scenario, but it almost never happens.
And
I've had it happen
unfortunately,
to me twice in
Oh,
my entire playing career, basically.
that's a lot. That's how rare it is, and unfortunately, we haven't found a way yet to manipulate it, so we can purposely do that. So we just have to hope the battle rolls love us, which it didn't for either of them. But again, they still were a little nicer to Couch. Now, where they're stepping when they're walking out through Fabul here is. They are still step routing because inside of castles, your steps still count. So you saw Velociraptor did not step on the rugs or the stairs, other than the one stair he had to when leaving the throne room, and he kind of moved a bit on the stairs into the inn. So that is all on purpose and part of the step route, because Fabul is one of those places where they do have extra steps, and you should see Velociraptor takes 10 extra steps now shortly.
Yeah, basically everything in this castle that is in front of an item counter or some kind of reseller, carpet, or on a stair tile does not move the step counter forward at all. And we can have up to 10 steps along this way that we can pick and choose whether we want them to count or not. And I think both of them wanted it to count at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. I know Velociraptor did.
Yeah, both of them.
So you saw Velociraptor, and you will see Couch do a bit of inventory work there. They wanted to make sure to remove the tiara from Midia, as that's going to be really important now for the twins, which we will pick up shortly. They also made sure to finish the item duplication glitch with Yang. That is very, very important for the end of run glitches that they're doing. So that one had an extra step in it, which allowed them to get a huge stack of visible fire claws, which I think is black box 5 or 4 to start, and they're going to do some specific things with that stack. They also made sure to equip the black sword on Cecil, which you just received from the king, because it gives you a +5 to agility, which is going to be really important for the climb up Mount Ordeal shortly, because there are some really nasty back attacks there. So you want that extra agility to help you escape.
So to talk a little bit more about the dupe glitch, what you saw earlier was them duping into an empty slot and just leaving it empty, which creates kind of an underflow situation that leads to a lot more shields in that case. Here, by equipping Yang with 2 claws, we get the number down from 255 to 254, and that black box is there just telling you, hey, this is wrong, I'm supposed to be a 9, what are you doing? But really what it means is they have 250 something claws now in that one spot.
Yeah, exactly. For now. That number will not stay. Keep track of that number, guys. It will be important. So now we get one of those cutscenes which has become a little fun and famous in the community.
We memed it.
we memed the heck out of it, as we do. You play these games over and over, you gotta meme it. So our wonderful Leviathan shows up. He's just trying to have a 10, relax, and you come along with your boat and wreck his day. So he wrecks your boat. And poor Rydia is small and a child, so gets tossed overboard. And Cecil, in his last evil act, tosses Yang overboard. So you saw it on Velociraptor screen, watch it on couches now. Even if you don't agree, you can't really unsee that. So yeah, and unfortunately they were one character short of being able to call Leviathan, Leviathan. So we have our beautiful Leviathan.
It's possible that Cecil is just mad because of the witchcraft that is the Duke Witch. Like, he sees Yang do this and he's like, what?
Yang is
No.
just
No,
is
sir.
so magnificent. He doesn't need extra armor. He's just there, hence, and that's it. And he's just magnificent. He's just like, no, I need to show that I am the true hero of this. Look at me in my mighty glory. So poor Cecil gets shipwrecked, and he's like, oh, there's a town nearby. Let's go get some help. Not so forthcoming, because this is Midia, the place where he and his Red Wings stole the crystal right at the beginning of the game. So they are very angry with him. Now, you saw Velociraptor there buy some items, and he did buy pretty specific amounts of items, because it's much faster to just buy stacks of items when you're going to equip, rather than bothering to just get one or two or such. So, and you saw Couch, he sold 2 stacks, or 2 times 70 on that Fireclaw stack. So it is now a very specific number. There now should be, I believe, 114 at this time Fireclaws in that stack. Which again
which will not be important at all.
Nope, not at all.
It's just that we manipulate the game by having 114 Fireclaws to just give us the best RNG possible.
Absolutely, and we just like that number, 114. It's beautiful. And of course, stocking up on curative items, many of which we hope won't be important, but many of which can be. Now it does look like, Velociraptor is still ahead there. He bought his armor, talked to the Elder, and then bought his items, while Couch, I think, did all of his items at the beginning. I think he definitely went to the item shop before talking to the Elder. I did miss whether he got his armor at the same time.
He may not be getting armor at all.
Yeah, that's very
You don't
true.
you don't have to do that in this route right now, but it's kind of under discretion at this point how safe you want to play it.
No, he is not picking up any armor. So most of that armor is just important for Mount Ordeals coming up, but there is an item or two there which helps make it a little safer for Cecil for the second half of the run.
And of course, whenever a guy who came in and wrecked your whole town and took your crystal comes in, first thing you've got to think as the elder statesman of your town is, please take some 5-year-olds with you to a mountain.
They will definitely help you out, and I'm sure you are an absolutely trustworthy person and will not do anything bad to these kids. So he's not a really good role model, I have to say.
Not so much, yeah.
No, thankfully for the twins, Cecil is, if not trustworthy, at least protective of kids. And spoiler, the kids will be fine from Cecil. Yeah, and that's great. And one of the other theories, actually, is that the Elder was trying to get rid of all of them at the same time. This evil Dark Knight showed up, so he's like, okay, we'll send him to this mountain where nobody can succeed, and that'll be done. And yeah, take these guys with you. Either way, in either scenario, the Elder is not a very nice guy.
FF4 lore.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. So, from what we heard, it sounds like one of our runners will be going for duplication glitches, and one of them will be going kind of more standard strats. So, this should be an interesting case study here.
It definitely
if everything
will.
goes right.
Yeah, if everything goes right, it could give Velociraptor, because he's the one who's going to do the glitches, a bit of an extra lead there. But these particular glitches are rather particular. And sometimes, again, just that good old Final Fantasy IV RNG can get involved. And even if he does all the implementation perfect, it can just end it. And the recovery can take a long time on occasion. So,
Oh no,
things could
it's totally free. Totally free.
yeah, totally free, 100%, easiest thing ever. Why aren't we all doing it?
It's true.
So yeah, it will be.
I'm kind of disappointed the couch missed out on it, to be honest.
Considering Couch has had some problems in marathons before,
Has he?
so so he's definitely. There's marathon safe, and then there's marathon safe. So he's definitely taking the more super marathon safe there, where he can. Yeah, but you'll see how free this glitch is shortly when you see Velociraptor trying it. And hopefully, if everything goes right, it'll look really darn cool.
So cool.
Yeah, very impressive. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start explaining it now, because it is a little bit complicated. So, what the glitch he's going to be doing is it's called the mimic glitch, or otherwise known as the carrot and trash can glitch. And what it's doing is it's taking advantage of the mimic function of the twin cast, which is where one twin will initiate the twin cast and the other twin gets put into a mimic status. And as part of that setup there, you saw Velociraptor purposely taking damage, like waiting in a battle until Porum was at low HP. And I assure you that was on purpose for the glitch. And what he's going to do is he is going to set it up so Porum is going to be the twin to initiate the twin cast, and but first he's going to set Palom up to kill her. And if the timing goes correctly and he gets his run buffers correct, he will have time for Porum to start that twin cast before Palom kills her. That will put and leave Palom then in a mimic status. And so he will just mimic whoever goes before him. And we will then manipulate the turn order using Tella and Stop. You can see some of the danger here already. To stop Cecil at the right time. So Cecil will half use an item and then swap it with an item that we want to throw, in this case, carrot. And if everything goes correctly, Palom will throw the carrot at Milon, doing extraordinary amounts of damage. Because when you use items in this way, the game associates them with certain magic spells. And carrot is associated with 8 times fire 3. And carrot can technically be used against Milon or Milon Z, as they both are weak to fire. But trash can, which you're going to hopefully see now on Milon Z, is 8 times white or holy, so it can only be used on Milon Z, which is why we call it specifically carrot and trash can, or refer to Milon as carrot or Milon Z as trash can.
So Raptor got a very unfortunate ATV there, where Porum skipped ahead of where she was supposed to be and kind of abandoned it rather than try and play it out.
And that's honestly the safest bet. Recovery from carrot or trash can be very scary and very time consuming. So if right away you see there's a problem, often it's better to just ditch it and go back to twin strategies. And so with the twin cast, there are 2 possible spells that you can get, Flare or Comet. What we want is Flare, because Flare does more damage to a single target, which in this case is Milon, and only costs 10 MP. While and Flare actually has a 75% chance of happening, which is not always what it seems like. Comet, which only has 25%, is better for multi-targets, so will do less damage for Milon, and costs 20 MP. So if you get a couple of those Comets, you actually have to start worrying about MP. So thankfully, everything went fine there. But as you see, because of that little bit of recovery, Couch is in the lead currently. But not by much. Velociraptor just killing Milon as well. And again, if Trash Can... Oh, looks like they're both going to do Trash Can.
No, this is all
No.
bacon. Look at this.
Oh, it is all bacon in a. He did the formation for trash can, but all bacon. So a quick explanation of doing Piggy is Milon Z. When he attacks, he is programmed to cast or inflict both curse and poison on you. However, it's bugged, so you don't actually get cursed. However, the Piggy's status has higher priority in the status ailment over curse. So if you were in a pig status, you can't get cursed, and because it's bundled with poison, you also can't get poisoned. Because for some reason in this battle, look at Velociraptor's screen. Hopefully not, we don't see it, but you may see messages just stay up for a really long time. Oh, is there a
That's
problem?
tough. Yeah. That's too bad. So basically what happened there was Raptor,
Oh, the stop came too early.
yeah, no, the stop was fine.
Oh.
He just got sniped. Tom got sniped before it get the trash can off.
Oh, yeah, that is, again, and that's where the problems come in with these strategies, is they are quite particular. And even for this trash can strat here, this is the safer version. It used to be a lot more dangerous, because we used to have to wait for for Milon Z to play ball and to kill Cecil for us, rather than killing Palom.
So if he's gonna be doing some backup strats here.
And he did it, yeah, because when you bring back Palom, so long as you haven't done twin or anything with Porum, he is still in that mimic status. So yeah, as you saw, he threw the carrot at Milon Z, and Milon Z just disintegrates. So we're literally seconds apart here, because Couch finished up just shortly after that. So Milon and Milon Z are truly the great equalizer of this part of the run.
Yeah, so he's still in that glitched out state, but also I want to point out Raptor was really fast there. Like, that was actually kind of a tough setup for the recovery.
Yeah.
Cecil getting hit right away. He had to make that switch like almost instantly, and he pulled it off. So that's like, worthy of chat applause, because that's a really difficult recovery.
It absolutely is. And Piggy Paladin. So because of the way the coding is for this scene, all your other characters are considered NPCs, so they just come in however they're supposed to. But Cecil is not. So he comes in whatever status he was in previously. So we get our beautiful Piggy Paladins showing up, and it's truly a beautiful thing. But now, to fight against the darkness, and in this version, and only this version, Dark Knight Cecil actually only has 1,000 HP. So rather than waiting for him to kill for him to kill himself and for all of the text, we use Dancing Daggers, which Paladin Cecil can now use. And in 3 or 4, or very rarely 5 Dancing Daggers, you can take out Dark Knight, which is fantastic. And you see some of them also using run buffers to just make it that little bit quicker. And actually, Couch doing a bit of inventory maintenance there.
Wow, Couch, I think, accidentally threw something at the Dark Knight that he shouldn't have.
Oh no!
He wound up with the text.
Oh no. Well, yeah, I was gonna say, he did some item maintenance, but everything should have been paused while he did that. Yeah, see how long this text stays up? Well, you don't want to see that. Oh, yeah. Good game, guys. Yeah, no. The tournament we're currently running is only until the point where you get the message that says Cecil has become a paladin. So many of us have seen up to this point many, many times. However, this is where it's gonna get a little different for those of you who are used to the paladin run, and the ending is truly where it gets magical.
Yeah, so they're going to have a walk off this mountain. It's going to take a little bit, but let me explain the manipulation they're both going to do at the bottom of the mountain. So one of the factors for this category, this glitch actually working, is the yellow chocobo. When you release it, it needs to leave the screen at a certain pixel kind of frame.
And I'm going to put in chat now the image, because you're not going to see them doing it, but I will add it to chat. So take a look. The red zones you apparently I've been blocked. Never mind.
Deleted
sorry,
everything.
Guys, I tried.
Banned forever.
Banned forever.
Commentary.
Commentary ban. But if you ever see that picture, someone posted it for us. Thank you so much, Mythical. The red spots are the bad spots. So if a Chocobo leaves the screen and like the top pixel of that Chocobo leaves the screen in touching any of those red things, that is a bad Chocobo, and you will need to adjust for that because the Chocobo, like River says, must leave the screen in one of the safe spots. But what these two runners are going to be doing is they are going to be purposely manipulating a good Chocobo. So it's why they were step routing up until this point, but once they get down off the mountain, they will actually no longer be step routing because they are going to reset in order to manipulate that Chocobo. So bad for their potential seeds, good for the not having to chase and try multiple Chocobos, because I don't know about you, Rivers, but I've definitely had runs, or of the couple of runs I've done, where I've just sat there being like 5, 6, 7 Chocobos, just being like, please leave the screen in the right spot.
I don't know. I hear the world record has a bad Chocobo, and the guy who runs that is kind of a schmuck. So I don't know.
Oh well, then in that case.
But yeah, you'll see both of these runners reset here and manipulate getting a good Chocobo, which you would not do at all on a PB attempt. That would be, the amount of encounters that you save over the course doing the step route is way higher than, say, one bad Chocobo or 2 bad Chocobos. But for the sake of the marathon, making the glitch actually work, both of these runners have opted to just kind of take the easy route.
Absolutely. It's much better, much safer, and makes for a better show than catching and letting go Chocobos for a couple minutes. Oh yeah, no, that was a good Chocobo.
Yeah, I hear that the world record holder in this game is just the worst.
Oh, I heard that too, No. For those who don't know, Rivers, my co-commentator, is actually the world record holder. So you should watch his run sometime. Oh look, that was beautiful. It's actually the first time I've seen the purposeful manipulation, but that's good. And I mentioned there are 2 points in the game where you get to read text. You get the second right now. Enjoy your legend. Many people have this in their splits listed as long legend.
Yeah, it's actually it's funny in the Japanese version. The legend is much shorter, but it still takes about as long to watch it.
Yeah, I'd believe that.
So now we have to come up with lore for the rest of this game too? Man, this is going to be hard.
There's more of this game? I thought we were done.
No, there's more of it and everything.
Oh, I love it. So, you've proven yourself. You, Cecil, have shown up, and you're like, no, man, I'm a paladin. I'm great. And Tella, who you bumped into on the mountain, and he's like, yeah, I'm here to learn the legendary spell of Midia. And even these 5-year-olds are like, dude, that's a bad idea. You're old. That spell will totally kill you. And Tella's like, no, man, it's fine. And so he learns the spell, and he speaks to the elder, and the elder's like, dude, that's gonna kill you. And Tella's like, no, man, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. We'll see how that plays out. Stay tuned to see the answer to Tella's fate.
No spoilers, Natar. I haven't seen this game before.
That's why there's no spoilers. But
Jeez.
All I am guaranteeing for you is you will find out whether or not he can cast Midia.
So, yeah. So both of these runners will find their way back to Baron and then just wander around randomly into a cafe and, oh, look, there's Yang. We like Yang. Yang's a good guy, right?
It seems to be the thing. Like, if you meet someone for the first time, in a lot of cases, everything's good. But, like, if you meet your friend who you thought was lost, surprise, they're brainwashed. Like, this game. But first, you are fighting these guards, and the really easy strategy for that is dancing daggers from both Cecil and Palom.
Yeah, sometimes in that battle, Palom will get one shot, and you'll have to use Televirus. But other than that, I mean, it's very straightforward. A couple battles here, not even like worthy of a split, to be honest. But some people still do it.
For sure. And the interesting thing about this fight is, you have to wait for Karate Man, otherwise we know as Yang, to hit you twice. You cannot win until he has, but all you do need to do is hit him once with Cecil specifically in order to end that fight. So, and the amount of damage you take as long as Cecil survives for the Yang fight is irrelevant because you're in an inn. So chances are you're going to sleep and be okay.
Yeah, you actually don't even have to hit him. All you have to do is attack him. If you miss, he'll still say ouch because Yang is a great actor.
Yeah, he's great. He's just that magnificent. Oh, no, sorry, he is just that fabulous because you can't spell fabulous without Fabul.
Punch. So after this, you'll see both of these runners head to the bear and weapon shop, which is now unlocked because Yang had some sort of key or something. I don't know. Plot's hard. And they'll head into the shop and start buying some armor for the rest of the game, and also some very specific increments of other items from the weapon shop that I don't think have any relevance to the game at all. Do you know anything about those, Natara?
No, I think people are just really particular about these numbers. They're like, that number looks awesome. That number looks awesome too. Let's have those. Got some very picky number people here. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
also,
they seem to gravitate toward like 13 and like 58 and 68, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. They're pretty neat numbers, that's for sure. And getting multiple stacks? That seems like a bit of a waste. Why didn't they buy them all at once?
I don't know. I don't get it.
I just don't get it, guys. Also, when it comes to the lore, who thought it was a good idea to give the brainwashed guy a really important key? Like, that's either just bad planning or complete overconfidence, perhaps both. But there's so much bad decision making in this game. It's amazing. If you pay attention to the plot, it's a bit silly. Also,
yeah, one thing that we should mention real quick about the actual plot itself. In that scene where they're all sitting around talking in the inn, Tella actually says that he is Edward's father, which is not actually true per se, but it's hilarious.
It is hilarious. If he somehow accepted Edward and the fact that he was going to marry his daughter, then, you know, in some way that would make him his father. But yeah, they hadn't actually married. So when you show up and Anna's actually been hurt, she had actually decided that she was done. She was like, no, I can't do this to my father. I can't marry without his approval. She was going to leave. So we know for a fact they did not get married.
So Velociraptor here demonstrating why you want to keep your seed, as he's just getting destroyed by a couple of the worst back attacks in the game in this underground waterway.
Is. Those alligators, they get attacked twice. So, and or the crocodile. So, yeah, they're not very nice. And don't worry, the plot for this game is everyone's just trying to ruin Cecil's day. Also, to quickly answer an earlier question, which I kind of did answer in chat, this run is approximately 2 hours. It can be completed under 2, but with the marathon safety strategies, it's probably going to be a little over 2 hours. So we are already over halfway through.
Wow, I didn't know you could complete a Final Fantasy game in 2 hours. That's crazy.
I know, that's really quick. I don't know that it's possible. We'll see. Can these runners do it, guys?
That just sounds like a very confident estimate, you know?
Oh, I'm confident. If I'm confident in nothing else, it is in these 2 runners.
I wish I could say the same. No, I'm kidding. They're both runners.
Oh, commentator sadness.
Aww.
So, and yeah, now that neither of them are on step routes, yeah, this is going to be a big factor, their encounter rate and what back attacks they get as to who is in first and where the other one can make up some time. And again, don't get me wrong, Velociraptor is still in the lead, but Couch is only behind by a little bit, and he's actually heading to the save room. So he's picking up a little bit of extra safety there. We have a couple of bosses in a row coming up.
So the most important thing for these, the upcoming couple battles here is that you see the introduction of another underflow glitch, which we wouldn't have done before because we didn't have any powerful spells. But it turns out that Midia costs 99 MP and Tella has 90 MP. But if you underflow Tella, then suddenly he has the ability to cast anything that's over 90 MP, which, funny enough, I think it's some kind of powerful spell that we just might have.
Oh no, he's got no powerful spells. One thing to note about the buffer underflow is once it has been completed, he has lots and lots of magic, but he can only use it in battle. He loses the ability to cast it outside of battle until you remove that status, which can be removed at any time by using an ether. So that is definitely easy there. Couch having a much better time at the underflow, but he still has to do his equipping. Oh no, apparently something smells like monsters. How weird is that?
How come Cecil has such a bad nose for this sort of thing, you know?
I don't know. He's too busy being like all shiny.
So you see in this battle here, you're going to see Paladin and Poor and Book get killed instantly by their own party, if not by Dagon himself. You may also see Yang get killed depending on what kind of experience shot these guys are using, but the reason we do this is to try to get Kane when he rejoins later up to level 19, in which he gets like a strength multiplier, he gets agility multiplier. He comes in really buff. He can do a lot of damage.
And that's going to be really important as there's a boss battle immediately after you get him back, and you really need him at that level. But thankfully for this one, it's not such a big deal because we've got Midia. And as you saw, Baigan with Midia is an absolute joke.
Yeah, it turns out if you just throw Midia at things, they die quickly.
Yeah, they're fine. And see, Tella has just proven his point. He is not too old to use Midia. He has got this.
That's true. I'm sure that it won't backfire in any way at him at
No
all.
way. Well, how could it? He is too powerful. He is the mightiest of sages.
He's fueled by the greatest rage of all, Bard Rage.
Oh, it's true. Now, you do see that on Velociraptor's screen, he has brought Yang back to life, but he has not cured him. And Couch also, Porum was still alive. I'm not sure if that was on purpose or not, but it definitely could affect his experience route, so we'll see what happens.
I'm gonna guess that wasn't on purpose.
No, I'm also gonna guess that was not on purpose. You really did want her dead because you want Kane. It's much more important for Kane to have that experience, but you want Yang alive here to get some extra hits on Kainazo. So the big kind of strategy for this is you want Tella to cast Lightning 3. However, the amount of damage he can do is quite variable, and so you want to make sure you have both Cecil and Yang hit as well to get Kainazo dead as soon as possible, because he only has 4,000 HP. And as we saw on Velociraptor's screen, got a really low roll on that Lightning 3. He only got a 34, and it is much faster to kill Kainazo with Cecil and Yang rather than having to do another Lit 3. Much better Lit 3 on Couch's screen, so doing a little bit of item maintenance there as well during the death screen, and they are much more caught up now.
Yeah, so Lit 3's damage kind of comes into Tella's magic multiplier, which is why at the very beginning of the game we kind of go out of the way to get that change rod, because with the change rod and the Gaia, you boost Tella's magic stat by 8. This game does magic multipliers in increments of 4. So that's 2 multipliers. The only way you can get those 2 multipliers is Tella never levels, really. So with those two, you have the best chance possible to one-shot Kainazo. And unfortunately, Raptor did not get it, but you saw what happens when it works quickly over on Couch's side.
Absolutely. And he didn't get the lowest roll you could get there, but he did get... There wasn't much lower Velociraptor could have gotten on that roll, I will say.
Yeah, if you start trying to get fancy like Fred and I did when we were both going for PBs, you can find numbers down to like 2,800 if you don't have Gaia Helm or Change Rod.
I know my first run of this category, I forgot to equip the Change Rod on Tella, and I did Lightning 3 twice, and both times were 3,200. They're like, you don't have the Change Rod equipped, do you? I'm like, oh, I guess not.
Kind of important.
You need it for that damage.
Oh, look, there's going on.
Oh, hey, it looks like there's some plot. So, Sadness, you have more than 5 party members right now. So the game had to think of a extraordinarily clever way to get you down to 5. And in this case, it is through the epic and mighty sacrifice of the twins, who courageously turned themselves to stone in order to save the lives of everyone else. And Tella, of course, cannot cure them because they have, according to the game, they have voluntarily become stone. There is some theories that, in fact, Tella was the one who turned them to stone, and the reason his cure didn't work is because he doesn't want them back. But
Interesting.
it's up to you to decide. But either way, our twins have sacrificed themselves. But meanwhile, with the Legion of Doom, Rosa's still hanging out.
Hanging under the bowling alley ball, so.
Yep, absolutely. The saddest of saddest bowling alley balls.
Now, I think that I think I would agree with that telestory more had I known that Palomar Forum dropped hints about their love of bards, but I always mash over text fast. Does that actually happen in this game?
No. Yeah, it
No?
totally does. It's shocking! Oh, in the Fortress of Doom. Zelly is correct. That's much better than the Legion of Doom. Forever changed in future commentary.
Technically the bowling alley of Doom.
I'm okay with that too. And so now with Sid, they get what they originally tried to do when leaving Fabul. They have finally acquired their airship. They are set to save the day. Or are they?
Are they? I don't know. I've never watched this game before.
I know, brand new. So they're all like ready. They're like, yay, we've got this airship. We're ready to go. And up comes Kane on the Red Wings airship, offering a deal. He is telling the crew that if they will steal or get the Earth Crystal from the Kingdom of Toroya for them, they'll give back Rosa. And of course, Cecil still has faith in his good buddy Kane and tries to snap him out of it, to no effect. So, time to steal some crystals, guys. We're getting in on this action.
Right, and of course the party is going to head to Toria. You never actually have this cutscene because it takes time to have it, and it's not mandatory to watch it. But if you walk in and talk to the rulers of Toria, they're like, oh, well, our crystal was taken by Dark Elf. Now, Dark Elf is actually the true hero of this game. I'm not going to get into why, because it's kind of a ROM hack that we need to work on. But,
It's
yeah.
the truest of stories. Like, if there's no other lore and information you take from this, know and just feel in your heart that the true hero is Dark Elf.
Correct. Oh, I don't know why they made it so hard to park next to Toria.
They made it really quite difficult, and sometimes it's nice to get that swag of just getting it right the first time. No careful correcting or trying to land and bouncing on those trees. But the true trigger to continue the plot is to go off to the side room where you find Edward, who you've now found all your party members from the boat, or not all of them, everyone except for the small child you still mourn. And it turns out Edward is still not doing so good. This bard does not have a lot of recovery. He I don't know if he was hurt more or whatnot, but he is here across the world trying to recover. And he's giving you the item of a twin harp, which he is sure for some reason will definitely help you in trying to reclaim the crystal from the Dark Elf. And then you'll see both of the runners. Purposely, they're going to use an ether on Tella to get rid of the underflow, and then use the exit spell so they don't have to waste time trying to walk out of the castle. And that is more important when you are step routing, because you don't want those extra steps, but it saves time if nothing else. So off they go to pick up their black chocobo.
Nothing more irritating than trying to chase down a black chocobo.
Yeah, I don't know of any way to manipulate it. This chocobo forest is huge, and those black chocobos. So again, if someone could take the lead just on black chocobo luck.
There is a
we
way.
lost
There
Raptor.
is a manip. There is
Okay.
a manip.
Okay, good to know. And both of them actually getting quite good luck. Couch is a little bit faster, though he ran into a mountain, so that's a little bit slower.
Bonk.
Yeah. So when they walk into this cave, they are immediately told by plot that you cannot have any metal equipped, and mechanically wise, if you have any metal equipped, you are paralyzed. So very specifically, we have Sid and only Sid without any equipment or any metal equipment, and the reasoning for that is he is currently our fastest party member. So we want so that helps us run. So we need him alive, and we need him without any metal so he can help us run away. Everyone else at this point is irrelevant. They don't though it can be dangerous if something happens to Sid. But,
not technically true that he's the fastest, but
okay, sorry.
It doesn't really matter because nobody in this party is particularly fast at all.
That is also true.
And I believe it still just uses kind of the fastest character, which at this point is Cecil, I want to say.
Oh, okay.
But it doesn't actually matter at that point. You just want him alive because you need to be able to run at all.
Okay, absolutely. And I think it's just you don't have to do any extra equipping. He just comes having a wooden hammer and prisoner robe. So he comes with no metal, so it's easy. And Couch taking another safety save. He's playing it super safe, and that should hopefully really help him. But again, with the encounters. Yes, yeah. Metal really is a real sticking point for this. Very, very well pointed out.
Yeah, if Couch was playing this run any safer, he'd be doing it from his child's crib.
And we'll see if that helps him, and it definitely will. It loses him a little bit of time, but again, I would rather lose a little bit of time than a huge amount of time if something goes wrong. Yeah, Couch does prefer to have a bit of a cushion. Guys, these puns are amazing. Keep them up. I don't know if Rivers loves them, but I certainly do.
I'm just here trying to think of my Dark Elf lore.
Yeah, oh yeah. Feel free. It is all yours.
So you wander into the Dark Elf cave, and of course, you will put this iron glove that you took from Cain way back in the beginning of the game on Sid, so that you instantly perish in this battle, which is unwinnable anyway. But Dark Elf is a super powerful, awesome being, but he has one weakness, and it's that he really hates heavy metal. And for whatever reason, Edward on his harp is able to get up here and start playing some, and then things start to go a little pear-shaped for Dark Elf, my boy.
Yeah, Couch took Edward took a real lesson from that water hag, and he's like, I really gotta, change up my repertoire here, and he was just ready. And he is so metal, in fact. He's like, oh, doctors and nurses trying to help me? No. Fetch my harp for me? No. I got this. I'm metal enough. I'm going to crawl my way to that harp and save the day.
Can Couch check his inventory for my car keys?
He'll get right on that, but first he's got to deal with the real hero here. Rest in peace. Oh. Getting some awesome music here. The only other problem that poor Dark Elf has is he has a bit of a communication problem. He's to the point. He knows what he has to say, and he doesn't take any extra time to say it.
Look, I would argue that Me Change is the most meaningful character development in this game.
It really is, actually. It's right to the point, says exactly what he needs to say, and you're not wondering at all what he means. You know exactly what he means. So, in this fight, you have seen we did some party side here, and we purposely used Virus on Sid. And again, this is for the Shadow Party experience, specifically Cain. And we did use Sid to get that a little bit of extra damage. The fun thing about the Dark Elf fight is when he changes into this dragon form, whatever flag or should be on the boss fight to make him not susceptible for weak is not there. So you use Tella to cast weak and take him out in one hit. Ideally, I think you do want Yang dead in that fight. or at least or just 2 people alive, especially where Couch had someone extra alive in Baigen.
Yeah, it really depends on your experience route. I don't know if Couch is really positive what he's going to do at Valvalis at this point.
You can, if you get Kane at level 18, there are definitely strategies for that, but it is slower. Again,
Yeah.
walking out of our crystal room, which neither of our runners forgot to pick up the crystal, because if you do that, you have to go back. And now you see they take the black chocobo, which takes them automatically back, and they're once again hunting for a black chocobo. And while you think this might be for speed, this is actually again more manipulation. They are leaving that black chocobo in a very specific line, which again is going to help us with things later, but it's not too specific. Just because we like it in that forest.
Right, it's not intentional at all. These runners both just take extra steps in the forest because step manipulation or something.
Yeah, and they think that black chocobo looks really cool there. So even though you've never talked to these ladies here, the rulers of Toria, you show up with the crystal, and they of course are delighted. Unfortunately, Kane and Golbez and them, they know you've got the crystal, and they're like, okay, give it up. If you want your girl, we want our crystal. And more wonderful usage of the exit spell, saving steps, saving time.
This appears to have turned into a pretty close race here.
It really has. So, and there's still a good solid 30 minutes left to this race. So it truly is anyone's race at this point.
Dark Elf, of course, not having the boss bit because he is a true hero. So that's just more evidence in favor of this theory.
I believe it. I'm totally in for this theory.
And now both these runners are heading through the toughest walk of the game of this category, which is the Tower of Zot, which is not only is everybody in your party slow, but all of the enemies are fast to the point where some of them can just attack you even on non-back attacks because they're is that much better than yours.
Absolutely.
And very, very common to get 3 or more back attacks in this area and just get decimated. So
it is, and this is one of the few parts of the game where even though you're walking through and running through, you are making sure to keep both Tella and Cecil at, if not full HP, a good amount of HP, because just that wrong back attack and you're dead.
It's okay. There actually are no back attacks in the Tower of Zot. I don't think anybody in this run will get one.
Nope, not a single back attack. There are definitely not 2 on the screen right now. Yeah, this is Back Attack City, guys. It is not a nice place. Philosopher's Couch. I love it.
So both these runners are going to take a little pit stop here and fight Flame Dog. Flame Dog is in this chest. The reason you want to do this is Fire Sword, which you get out of this chest, boosts Kane's damage and is a key weakness of Golbez, who you may run into later at some point, and it really helps getting his HP down in a hurry. So both these runners are going to take a little pit stop here, try to kill the Flame Dog and steal his Flame Sword.
Yeah, and thankfully one well-placed Ice 2 takes care of him. And you will notice that Velociraptor brought back Yang, but Couch didn't even bother. And Yang is there to kind of help and do some curing if need be, but the purpose, even if you bring him back, you do not cure him because you want him to die in this battle, again, for more of that experience routing. And once again, time for our MP Underflow, because we will need that for the upcoming boss fight, which is a few floors away.
You don't think... Wait, hold on. Are you telling me that Tella could cast Midia again?
No, there's no way. He's already done it once successfully. He is an old guy who's already been warned so many times. There's no way. He can't. He can't handle it.
You don't want to push your luck. I mean, you just get in this Midia state of mind all of a sudden. I mean,
Absolutely.
He's up there.
And he tried it once and he was successful. He doesn't need to try it again.
Yeah, that's pushing it. I don't like this at all. I think that's a bad strategy.
Well, we're gonna find out, and as we've seen so many times, Tella does what Tella wants. He's angry, and he listens to nobody.
And worst of all, Cecil just told him that Golbez is a bard.
Oh, now he's really angry. You thought he was angry before? No, it's got nothing now. His hate of bards is absolute.
It's uncontrollable.
Uh-huh. Maybe it's that music they play. Maybe it's just that the sound of music tries to make his heart defrost, and he can't have that. He needs the anger and the cold.
So, to talk a little bit about the experience, the Magister's fight coming up here is basically the biggest source of experience in this entire run as far as manipulating Kane's levels higher. You in no way want more than 2 survivors in this fight. And for some routes of this game, or maybe Couch would do this, I don't think so, because he's playing it very safe. But at some points you just want 1 survivor, even. So you'll definitely see only 2 survivors for both of them.
Yeah, for sure. While it would definitely help for his experience, because where he's had a couple of fights with extra people alive, yeah, probably not. And they're right on pace here, because Couch took some time to go and take that extra save, while Velociraptor was like, nope, going right to it. So we are seconds apart here. So one of the strategies you've seen us use previously, and these runners continue to use, is to specifically use cover on Tella. And he does automatically cover if someone gets down into low HP, but I believe cover allows him to just take any or most of the hits, at least the physical hits, on Tella. And you want that, because as we're getting further, Tella is getting more and more squishy.
Right, and you'll see both of these runners moving around inventory right now. This is one of the best spots to do it. There's a specific order that they want their items in for reasons, and you'll see both of them just placing these benign, like Cura 13 stacks and Claw stacks in a certain place in their inventory for a reason.
For sure, and of course, as completely expected, not expected, Midia just took care of these sisters. So Tella's used Midia all he needs. He's seen twice, it works, beautiful. No need to use it again.
Definitely not. There's no way he would use it in the room.
No way. He is completely safe. He's proven it works. Oh wait, I'm sure that's not going to help him.
Oh no, it's Golbez. Oh no, Cecil told him he was a bard again.
Again? So this is one of those spots where you will see both of these runners using the pause strategies to save some time and manipulate their in-game counters. Wow, they are basically in sync on my stream. This is beautiful.
And you'll see both of them pausing in this fight, trying to manipulate the in-game timer for what we talked about earlier, just that one floor that they might be going through, which can soft lock if not entered in the correct in-game time down to the seconds. So
absolutely,
both of them playing a pause to make that happen.
Yeah, true. And you can tell, you can hear it. There is a sound cue which indicates when they have they soft locked the game. So yeah, we'll see that when it comes. Well, hopefully we don't see it. We don't want that sound or anything near it. Wow, they are in absolute sync right now. This is so beautiful.
I can't believe you jinxed them like that.
I know. Well, we'll see if I jinx them in a little bit. I apologize in advance if there's any commentator curse. These guys are too good. They're fine. So, of course, unfortunately, we can manipulate the game as much as we want, but when the plot says it's time for you to go, the plot says it's time for you to go.
Yeah, it's too bad. Tella's Midia would have been really handy in the next fight. He should have saved her for like 2 rooms.
Tella's Midia would have just been useful for the rest of the game. Almost all of the rest of the fights.
And so, our boy Tella, gone forever, never forgotten, because we hate him that much. No, because he was a good party member or something, and the party vows to get revenge for him against that evil bard, Golbez.
and be happy that hopefully any future people they get will misspells less.
And of course, it's really fitting that Tella's last words are, "My only weakness is how much I hate bards."
Because boy does he hate bards. But that's okay. He can now hate bards continually and forever in whatever afterlife he does or does not end up in.
And of course, we talked to Kane after this, who is suddenly unbrainwashed, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I work at the bowling alley now. By the way, we should probably do something about this next ball that's coming into the return."
Nah, they're fine. And luckily, they holler out in time. They're good.
Ooh, 2 characters, 1 pixel. Oh my goodness.
Oh, this game is so racy, so exciting.
Oh!
And yes, folks, this is not an error. You're not getting duplicate streams. These guys are just that good. They are in almost exact sync. It is beautiful.
So heading into one of the most technical fights in the game, Couch actually did wind up with a level 19 Kane, so that's great.
Oh, that's fantastic. Just to quickly say, what causes the soft lock? There's a couple of things, but the one we're referring to in this case is not having the correct in-game timer. So we're not going to see it. There's no soft locks here. Natara did definitely not predict that. I take it back. Please stop. I'm sorry, game. I'm sorry. So I think there are actually 3 things which can potentially cause soft lock in our glitch. The time taken to reload a save, the in-game timer, and your money. Those are the 3 things which can potentially soft lock. But first, Valvalis.
Yeah, this is a fight that has been reworked a couple times recently by the community. Most recently, when Fred Coughlin realized that there was a certain way you could line this up to get enough jumps to almost guarantee a Valvalis kill on the after the second tornado form. Not sure how well either of these runners are going to do with this one, but it's a fight that's grown a little bit over the years. It's a lot more easy to deal with now, but it's still very precise. You want to layer a lot of commands out there at a time, and what's happening is as you're selecting something while another spell or attack or whatever is going off, you're actually buying yourself little chunks of ATB. And the more of those you can build up over the course of the fight, the more attacks you can actually get off before Valvalis turns again.
For sure. And one of the things you see is Rosa they're specifically having her cast slow on Valvalis twice. Not once, not 3 times. We want specifically 2 slows, which will get her to the right ATB to hopefully get all of our jumps and our turns in there without tornadoes popping up at the incorrect times.
Yeah, slow works very weird in this game. It only seems to work on a couple of bosses, really, but Valvalis is one of them. You can only lower a speed in this game twice before it stops reacting. For whatever reason, and so that's why you only see 2.
Yes, and thankfully, if you do accidentally attack while Valvalis is in the tornado form, you just waste a tiny bit of time with messages, but as you saw, those messages barely stay up at all. She does not counterattack in this version, so that is good. And we do have a Valvalis down on Couch's screen, and you see him doing some item maintenance there while we're waiting, because again, very specific things these guys are going to have to do. So every second counts. And something that's really great about Paladin Cecil is he will automatically cover any teammate who is in critical HP. So in a lot of these battles, we are specifically not bothering to really cure up any of our party members. We're just making sure to keep Cecil at full or high HP, so he can just keep taking the hits for everybody else.
Yeah, that's the main strategy coming into this fight, for him to cover both Sid Yang and hopefully somebody else gets weak besides him. Otherwise, you gotta kind of scramble on the cure 2s. But this way, you only have to heal one party member, and you always know kind of where you're at. Raptor did not have the best fight there. He kind of got weak a second time, but other than that, both of these runners coming through with some pretty decent times right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And once you've done those 2 slows with Rosa, you can use her for any for tossing cure 2s at Cecil as much as kind of is required.
Right.
But before that, or since that, back to Baron and nap time. Because boy, they've had a bit of a busy time here.
And of course, the last place the Rosa was Cecil's bedroom, because that makes sense.
Actually, and if that were the case, it means that Golbez actually had to take the time to sidetrack to Cecil's bedroom with Rosa. Take that what you will.
Well, I think I just learned that Cecil should be searching for a note in that room.
Maybe multiple notes. Yes, and to answer your question, thankfully for everyone, Demon Wall is not a thing in this run. There is a glitch which you use in both of the any percents, the main any percents, where you just skip that cave basically altogether. And you will be seeing that glitch here, though it look a little different.
Yeah, if you were to play this game without this glitch, which we call the 64 door glitch, this game would probably be going for another hour 20, hour 30 or so. But with the help of this glitch, this game should be over in the next 20 to 25 minutes.
Absolutely, and it's again, you guys are in for a treat. But first, we've got to toss some things down wells, because that's what you do.
Yeah, I've always known that dropping keys down wells creates explosions.
It's true, and yeah, you can skip the sealed cave, not entirely, but you just need to literally walk into the sealed cave and then leave. And yeah, if you've done the glitch correctly, and I'm sure a lot of us casually, that's the one glitch we all knew how to do, which is using exit or using warp in a very specific spot, which we'll see here now shortly. But first, we have to explode our airship. Sadness.
And kind of more importantly here. This is kind of a dead area for the run, because these runners are going to get control after kind of crashing with their airship. Maybe switch Cecil and Sid once, and then it's leg day. So
it is 100% leg day. Everyone's legs are going to hurt in sympathy with the epicness of this leg day. Because we have 64 sets of stairs, which we've got to climb. Up and down.
And up. And down. If you were Fred Coughlin, you would start naming Mega Man robots at this point.
Oh, that's a good idea. I've never thought about what to do in this. So, yeah, we are already counting stairs. We start from 0 on the world map. So when they hit the throne room, they are on 3. So they are going to be going back and forth on these stairs until they are at 63 and are in the throne room. So, yeah, another name for this run is Die Hard %. If you've seen it before, you know the magic that's going to happen in about 5 minutes. Maybe 10. But if you've never seen this before, guys, this is not the time to leave. This run has about 20 minutes left, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, it doesn't at all get weird or glitchy. No.
Nope.
Very, very normal. Game things happening.
As normal as this game is. Which, let's be real, it's not. I was going to say, there's a lot more than 64 Robot Masters, though. Does he just do with the originals, or does he, take turns doing different series?
He goes through 1 through 8, and then I always tell him that he left off Splash Film and he should be fired.
Agreed. 100% agreed. He should start for that one and work his way backwards.
I know, that's what I keep telling him, but he's like, no, I've got my methods.
He needs a new method. Fred has a lot of really good methods. He has figured out many an amazing thing for this community. But yeah, he's got to start with 10, just saying. Yes, I actually have very little information on the credit warp, which is, this is yeah, this is specifically the no credit warp category, and I don't even know how to do that. But
The credit warp category involves a lot more items being placed to do arbitrary code execution via kind of a glitched NPC. It just skips you directly to the credits rather than going through actual Zeromus fight, and probably saves maybe 9 to 10 minutes. But it's kind of an unsatisfactory ending to the category, and also it has a high chance of not happening, maybe 50-50. So you don't see a lot of people run that category. This is kind of the main 80% category for this game.
yeah, absolutely. And I will tell you, from having done this run myself as well, it is very satisfying to complete this. So, yeah, it's definitely, who will win the race, Sid or Rosa? In this case, it was Sid, but don't you worry, there's still time. So, of course, we're talking to the king, and, now that we know there's 4 more crystals, trying to figure things out. But, first, we gotta deal with some creepy, creepy dolls.
Everybody's favorite boss of the game, the dolls.
No. Negatory. Yeah, so this boss battle is, I want to say fun, but I don't mean fun. I mean frustrating.
Yeah, so this is one of a series of boss battles in this game that involve you having multiple targets and having to make sure you get them dead in the right order.
Yeah, and if you don't get them dead in the right order with the exact timings, they will combine into the big doll, or Bic doll, as we like to call it. And it's just very sad. Yeah, don't worry, we'll just use Midia again. No problems, right? Easy every time. Sadly, not the case. So you have to kind of watch who you're hitting and when, and keep track of your damage with these dolls. You want Kane jumping for the blue ones in the back, and Cecil throwing dancing daggers at the ones in the front, and Yang kicking, keeping up his kicks. And you kind of have to keep track which dolls you have hit with Kane more specifically. And Rosa does have a very important role too. She is casting slow on the dolls, which is definitely important for this run. But what is much more important is soon, I think her next spell is she is going to use mute on the party. And this is very important for the next battle, which will come immediately after this one.
There's another battle after this? Jeez.
I know!
They really pack them in.
They really do pack them in. But that's where the excitement is. Yeah, we will have no supping from any Calcabrinas, or Calbrenna as they call them in this one. We will not see her.
No, we will not. And I think both runners will actually play it safe if they're anywhere close. Just given, how Couch is played for sure, and I'm sure Raptor doesn't want to lose. But yeah, this is a fight that varies wildly based on damage rolls, because Kane's jump can one-shot a doll. It can also do 750 to a back doll, which is really bad, and you have to kind of go out of your way to throw fire out. It feels like you're continuously putting out fires in this fight, basically.
Yeah. So getting the mutes on both, and who should show up but everyone's favorite Golbez. So for anyone who's played this casually, things happen kind of really quick in this cutscene, and this part of the game really is just a cutscene, because very promptly you get frozen by Golbez. But again, we're manipulating the status ailment priority, and mute has a higher priority than hold. So as long as our characters are muted, they can still act. Now, couple of important things happening. You want to get Kane to jump as soon as possible, so sometimes with a run buffer, in order to so he doesn't get killed, and so we can get some damage here on Golbez. And what you're seeing both of them doing is they're doing some inventory maintenance, like management here, and this is the big one. This is the most important. They have they can jump in and out as long as these text boxes are coming up until the last one, which is "And you, Cecil." And once that one comes up, that is their last chance to finish manipulating their inventory into the very specific positions which they want the top 8 slots, the top 4 rows, and the bottom 4. So yeah, they will do that.
Yeah, both of them look good. I think we got some good stuff going here.
Excellent. So yeah, Couch has finished his Golbez and finishing up here. If they do the Golbez fight correctly as well, they can kill Golbez before Midia actually shows up. Like, she's here, she spoke, Miss Dragon did things, but again, if you get the timings right and do enough damage.
Excuse me, I need to interrupt here.
Sorry to interrupt.
Lobster hand. Lobster hand. Okay, go ahead.
It's everyone's favorite lobster hand. So yeah, you get the creepy hand who goes and steals the crystal. But now on Couch's screen, we're going to see the glitch we talked about earlier, which many of us knew, that as soon as you're done here, you can actually well, first he's manipulating some specific values, but if you cast Warp in this version of the game, it takes you back into the crystal room, and you can pick up the dark crystal, which is correct me if I'm wrong. Does this not relate to a different crystal room, which happens to still have a crystal that you can take, like say the Earth crystal?
This is the crystal room in the sealed cave, actually.
Oh, in the sealed cave. I knew it was not the dwarf castle. So on Couch's screen, you're now seeing some really cool things, because after he warped and left that room, he caused some magic. He definitely tripped some values, which made everything kind of get explodey. You might know some more specific technical details there, Rivers.
I might, but I don't.
Excellent. So they're definitely manipulating it. They've basically very on purpose and very specifically broken the game.
They've gone down a lot of floors, and by hitting a negative floor, all of a sudden everything gets very interesting. And all the menu movements you saw them do, all the rod placements or claw placements, this is all just finding some interesting warps that you can do.
And a lot of these rooms are safe in that they're moving you through automatically, or you're moving left. But the ones where you are allowed to move, like this mage room, each time you go there is a very specific way you want to move. And it is calculating what these rooms are and where you're going to be based on where your items are, where you left the black chocobo, where the yellow chocobo left. So yeah, that's why you're manipulating all that in a very specific way. And so they did manipulate it to make sure that they pop up in the sealed cave here, so they can trigger this cutscene.
Right, and of course, Kane, seeing what you're doing in the game, is like, nope, I'm out. Yeah. I've seen enough.
Yeah, I absolutely cannot do this.
You guys have fun with that.
Yeah, that's for sure. Unfortunately, we cannot swap the sound to Couch. I can't hear the sound, so I don't know what the problem is, but the commentators are coming through on Velociraptor's screen. So there is no ninja, sadly. There's no ninja. What are you talking about? We don't need that.
That's Yang's clever new disguise, haven't you?
It is. And surprise! Couch is now on the moon. How did he get there?
There's a moon in this game?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, this is Kane. I literally can't even. It is so true. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like both of them are doing 9 item.
Yeah.
Because doesn't. I was gonna say I know 12 item. There's 2 different item setups for this. Whether they use 12 specific items or 9 specific items in spots. So they're using 9 item, which I'm a little less familiar with.
So they're both gonna need to wait. If they get a bad in-game timer reading. Okay. Couch looks like he is going for it. And
perfect.
He made it through.
Oh, your stream's ahead of mine, so I will refresh mine.
So after runner make it through this, you'll see them organize Fusoya's magic inventory in a very peculiar way. And by doing this and walking through a couple of rooms relating to the magic inventory, suddenly you might see a new spell pop up in Fusoya's inventory.
But don't worry, there's nothing to see here. There's nothing important about this spell whatsoever.
Yeah, it's some kind of buffer or something, I think, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's just a spell which looks weird and does nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I'm getting some more fun rooms. Sometimes you see black rooms. There's occasionally you end up in rooms and you think you might be trapped, but a good use of a warp spell or whatnot, and manipulating some other values. Like, hey, what's this Upco spell? That looks a little weird.
What is an upco? I don't know.
I don't know what an Upco is, but Fusia's decided he wants whatever that Upco is. He's into it. And ta-da! We are in the last part of the game. Couch getting through beautifully.
So I'm gonna need everybody in the chat right now to enter a guess for Sid's Medio damage for both of these runners.
Because we don't need Fusia. He's in the main party. We're gonna have Sid. He can totally cast that, no problems. So general values are somewhere between 1500, which I think is a little too low, and very low 2000s. Place your bets, folks. My bet that I always stick with is 1802. I have not been right yet, but I have faith. I wish over 9,000 was an option. I would vote that way as well. Alas, there's not.
Wow, I don't even know how we're gonna figure this one out.
We're definitely not. We're gonna work some magic here. It is it's not this fight. It will be the next one. Velociraptor's still trekking through.
Yeah, he's got it, but he.
Oh yeah, he's fine. He got there. So beautiful. So they, Couches just beat up Zeromus. They're fine. Game over, right? This is why they came to the moon. I'm not quite sure why they're on the moon, but and who's this guy in the weird orange cape?
What is Zeromus? Well, that's Edge. I mean, I'm not Edge. I'm sorry. That's Yang.
Yeah,
Yang wearing a ninja outfit.
He's got a cool cosplay going on, and somehow Golbez is here, and we're not attempting to murder him. Oh, Riku coming in with very specific for each. I like it. I like the cut of your jibser.
Denied.
Denied. Yeah, that's it, banned. Yeah, Rubicante? I don't know. There's no Rubicante in this game, guys.
Can a moderator please strike down what Riku said? Thanks.
Okay, so here it is, folks. First, Golbez has got to have his...
1860... What did I say? 18...
I don't know, you're ahead of me still. We'll see. It is... I'll check it on mine. Oh, 1868 is our official couch roll. You watch Velociraptor's screen. I'll see if I can find who's closest to that.
Great.
1868. Oh, someone else guessed 1802. Good taste, sir. Good taste. Or madam. Person. Oh, we have an 1850 here by IMLRRR. So far, that's the closest. Let's see if we can find anything else. Ooh, but Accident has an 1884. Those are both very close. Ooh, 1850 by That's Fair Zach.
You gotta pick it.
Okay, so, yeah. That's Fair Zach and Accident are the closest, though Accident, I think, is officially the closest.
I'm sorry, I was reporting the results.
Oh, sorry, I didn't actually hear you. I was too busy reading text.
No, I'm talking to the chat. They thought that I guessed it spot on or something. No.
Oh, yeah, no. 1784. So, nice. Let's see if we got anyone close for that one. Ooh, Sonny had 1762.
1777, somebody else says they got.
Oh, yeah, Greenleaf.
Yeah.
Very nice. Oh, 1755 by Corpus Cav. So, one of the cool things you're going to see about this Zeromus cutscene, which is actually really, really quite new tech, is they are now going to be running the whole way through all of this text. And it will save them, it's upwards of like 9 seconds? Yes, no?
It's 12 seconds, I'm sorry. This is what I get for trying to look at chat at the same time. But yeah, you get here with this party, and of course, Zeromus is going to use Big Bang on you right away, and you don't have Cane, so you can't kind of manipulate, the jumps so that you can avoid Big Bang. So I mean, I don't know what these guys are going to do.
They'll figure it out. Like, Fusio's at 1900 HP. He can take like maybe a Big Bang if it's a good roll.
Maybe, but you
So,
think
yeah.
you think they're gonna like Cure 4 and then get off more Medios or what?
They'll have to time it really correctly, otherwise it's gonna get a bit iffy. Hope they bought enough life potions.
Yeah, this is a tough fight. I mean, you've really got to admire both of these runners for their courage in taking on this category.
They have run this many times in order to get this correct and get their timings down. For sure, and I won't notice what I just read. I'll read that in a moment.
No, Couch, don't go into to your white magic menu. What are you doing? Oh
what
God,
are you doing?
I think he's messed it up. Oh God,
He's got it. He's ruined it. What's happened? Oh, game over. Done. So official time for Couch is 2 hours, 3 minutes, and 13 seconds. So what that was is our wonderful Upco spell is by manipulating the spells, their order in the way that the runners did, and going through the floors that they did, it kind of corrupts the spell list. And that Upco spell is associated with the reaction. Well, it comes up as reaction, but isn't it explode?
It's a bomb kind of reaction spell, enemy spell called reaction, which automatically just takes out every enemy on the screen. Has no kind of boss immunity, and of course, we're never supposed to have enemy spells in our inventory at all. But by doing this, Zeromus can't be targeted one-on-one. But if you target every enemy, it's a little bit different. And yeah, so that happened.
It did, and I do want to report in just a second. Velociraptor's official time is 2 hours, 4 minutes, and 13 seconds. And I do have to note that this is a personal best for him. He has saved 3 minutes and 33 seconds. So congratulations to both of our runners, both to Couch for winning the race and Velociraptor to doing an amazing, cutting off so much time. So this is a pretty complicated run to learn and to follow the notes for. So, but these guys, they just know it. No problems. Easy every time.
Yeah, Raptor with a SRL PB, but only +3 on his actual PB.
Okay.
And now you're going to see some more important messages on Raptor's screen. So be ready for that.
Oh, nice. I'm sure they will be the most important of all things. And yes, we did have a closer guess up here. Not trying to ignore you, Girl Gruck. You did get a closer guess. Good job. Yeah, Dunk.
Oh, baby. I would have gone with the animated